Hello and welcome to English 1301 online. This week we are in Module 2, Week 7. So let's get started. So last week we talked about what the evaluation essay was about. This week we're going to discuss making sure that you are using the correct MLA format. Remember, this is about parenting methods. Make sure that you have chosen a parenting method to either be for or against. Make sure that you name that in your thesis statement and the three reasons why. And don't forget that all of your information must come from only the article. There are no outside sources allowed on this. Now, that being said, you're still going to have a works cited page. And I'll show you where that information for your works cited is. Again, they are on each of the three different articles. So if you want to write about Chinese moms or tiger moms, the works cited information is right here. If you wanted to write about helicopter parenting, the works cited information is right here. Make sure you don't include this part that says MLA works cited. That's just a tag. And if you want to write about free range parenting, the works cited is right here. Again, don't include the works cited tag. So you have the works cited information. You simply need to make sure that it's correct on the works cited on your actual essay. So that being said, let's go into the writing resources and show you where all that information is about how to use MLA format correctly. Now, I know we went over it a little bit with the autobiographical essay, but I wanted to go into it a little bit more here. Don't forget about the word graveyard that has words and phrases that have been banned for use in this course. If you hadn't looked at it, be sure you do. All of these different phrases, different words should be banned. They are not used in our essays, and you will be marked if you use them. So make sure you avoid them. But let's take a look at MLA information, this folder right here, directly under the graveyard. First and foremost, don't forget, I do have a template here for you to use should you wish to. My suggestion would be to save this to your computer as something else other than MLA template and then use that here on out. And if you open it up, you'll have to download it right here. It is a Word document. You just add in your information. Don't worry about that comma that is there for some inexplicable reason. Um, Make sure you put in our class number here. It's not FXX. It's a different number. Make sure you put it there. And as long as you don't change anything, you will be absolutely set for double space and indentation for the very first paragraph. Don't forget to indent your other paragraphs. Now, when you come down to the second page, you have a works cited here. You're simply going to start on the second page and copy paste your works cited here. Now, if it's more than one line, you're going to have to indent the second line, and it should be double spaced when you copy paste it in. But you want to make sure that this is double spaced and that the second line is indented as a hanging indent. In other words, the first line of the citation hangs over the second line. And we'll see if we can take a look at that later. But that's the template. Everything's set up for you to use on that page. You shouldn't have to change anything. Now, I do still have all of the same formatting, and I wanted to make sure that you paid special attention to in-text citations for this essay because you will need to cite your article. Now, fortunately, we're going to go ahead and open this up real quick. I want you to see the video when it comes up. It's from the University of Louisville Writing Center. It's actually a very good video. It's still good, but you're going to just use the author's last name. And if you know what page the quote comes from or the information comes from, you can use that page. But MLA is very forgiving. And since you only have one source for this essay, if you don't name the author in the sentence that you are using the information from, then all you have to do is put their last name in parentheses at the end of the end of your citation. So let me see if I can, let's just go ahead and open up the template here. I'm going to download it. And open that up in Word. We'll just take a look at that. So here you have your template and your works cited page. And if you go back to, let's see, our information, which, sorry, this takes just a second, but we go back to those articles, and I'm going to choose the free range parenting one because it's a little bit longer. So you're going to copy paste this, hit Control C or copy however you'd like. You're going to open up your Word document. You're going to go to your works cited, which if you come to the next one, it should already be there. All you have to hit is Control V and see how it's already double spaced. Now, the problem is that this secondary line needs to be indented. So the easiest way to do this is to simply hit Enter at the end of this line. It brings it down a little bit, but not too much. Hit Tab and it will indent it. And that is what a proper hanging indent looks like. So notice how the first line hangs over the second line. And notice how it changed the font to the correct font, Times New Roman, from what it was. You have to make sure that you have the hanging indent if the citation goes over one line and that it's in Times New Roman. So make sure to do that. All you would have to do is highlight it and then make sure it's Times New Roman right here. Now let's try that with the Amy Chu entry. I'm going to delete this and go back to the Amy Chu article, which I believe is much shorter, but maybe not. I'm going to copy this here and copy paste it here. Oh, it's not. It does actually go to a second line. So again, you're going to want to go to the end of this one, hit enter, and hit tab, and that would be correctly formatted. That's what it would look like. And I'll again do that with the other article that we have on helicopter parents. Copy paste.
Mic off. Mic on.
So apparently all three of them are the same way. They will do a second line. So make sure that you plan accordingly. So there you go. That's what they all should look like. All of them should have that hanging indent. So I guess let me go back and show you when you do a quote from one of the articles. So we're going to put it over here. And I'm just going to choose Amy Chu from the article down here. And let's see. I'm just going to say, let's see if I can quote. Let me see if I can actually copy paste this in because there you go. And you don't want to start. You don't want to start your paper with a quote, but when you do use a quote, yeah, first of all, you have to sit here and make sure that all of your formatting is correct. You want to make sure you use quotation marks. And we'll just assume this is the whole quote. When you want to give citation at the end of a quote, and you should, it should look like this. And that would be your in-text citation. It's technically called a parenthetical in-text citation. So make sure that you cite direct quotes, um, either at the end or at the beginning. And at the beginning, it would look like something like this. And that's just giving attribution at the beginning. So you can do either one of these will be correct. Just make sure that you're doing it. All right, let's take a look back at what else we are doing for the week. So that is how you do in-text citations. It's actually really easy, and it's an easy way to make sure that you are giving attribution to the correct source. Now, this will of course be different when you have multiple sources, but for this particular paper, you only have the one. So be sure you're still citing it. Also, be sure in your essay that you mention the title of the article that you're evaluating and the author. I've had several students who simply just forget that they need to do that because you are evaluating that parenting method based solely on that article. So make sure that you mention it. Other than that, that's that essay is going to be due at the end of the week. So if you have any questions throughout, let me know. But all of our information is here in essay number 2, and I'm available via email should you have any issues. So good luck and have a great week.